Hello and welcome to Sean White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast.
So in today's podcast, we have Thomas Stubblefield, and I met Thomas through my HeatSpring class. And Thomas is a solar installer. And where are you working at, Thomas?
We work out in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma,
All right.
Illinois.
That's a whole lot of states. You must do some driving. You must have some miles.
About 100,000 in the last year.
Okay, wow. All right. Well, good for you for sticking with it. It's almost like you're a driver as much as you are a solar installer coming to all these places. But one of the things that you mentioned was that you saw that there's a lot of people out there that are kind of stuck with installations that aren't working and stuff like that. You want to tell us what's happening?
If you can imagine paying a $9 a watt, about $100,000 for a system.
I could imagine that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Are people still paying this much? Are there suckers out there?
People are still paying this. And
Wow, just out of your part of the world or something? I guess, does it come with like 10 batteries and an electric vehicle?
No, it's supposed to be a whole home backup with, 9 kilowatt hours of battery storage,
Okay.
I feel they should know more about the system I'm putting up than I do, because they should have been through everything, gone over everything with their sales coordinator and all those. So, okay, paying that much money for a system. Let's say a crew comes out with fancy vehicles, and not only can they not install it, I'll show up and I'll see disconnects not connected, meters wired up backwards. We've got transfer switches used as junction boxes instead of being wired in. I've seen 250 volts routed to 50 amps, and these people are petrified. They're so scared. People have been waiting, some of them 5 years, for anyone to come and help them.
So you say that there's people out there that are paying $9 a watt, including a small energy storage system, but still that's kind of ridiculous. And then after 5 years, they're not even connected yet.
Nope,
These people must be super upset.
The common thread is that along the line, someone coerced them to sign a job completion form, which, for insurance purposes, that's how escrow money gets released. And so they all prematurely signed this job completion form. And the second they did that, no one will answer their calls, no one will help them, and their money's gone.
Okay, so if there's any people out there that know anybody that is getting a solar and systems installed, don't ever sign the job completion form unless it's already working. I guess, does that sound like a good idea
Proof
to you?
of power. We toss around the word proof, the commissioning report where everything works properly. There's no errors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that would mean like having an interconnection agreement and actually making electricity.
I would venture even to say, let's go ahead and say a past permission to operate, final inspection even.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so these people, they just like get stuck on some kind of little legal loophole because they signed some form that they didn't understand with some fine print. And then is this like one installer in your area, or you said it was kind of widespread?
My soul is tired. I feel like Stretch Armstrong. I have not been able to rest. I can't find competent help, but I'm going all over these cities and I'm still backlogged and people are getting angry. I can't get to all of them. This had to come from the government tax incentive, incentive to sell solar. Mm-hmm. And I can tell these people, when you have a lot of wealth generated, you can do certain things, sweep things under the rug, make things a lot harder for people when they don't answer their calls. I mean, how is a homeowner supposed to know? And it's like nobody knows what course of action to take.
Maybe some of them just went out of business. Maybe they had a business plan like, as soon as this tax incentive runs out, I'm bailing, man. I'm going to the island.
Thank you. Well, so Pink Energy and the Power Home Solar issue, they did declare bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Power Home Solar, here comes Pink Energy. After working with Generac, I've come to find out, because they've told me that Pink hired all the Power Home people when they went bankrupt. And then so now we have this new LLC, with no liability. And as soon as they did the bankruptcy, they're not responsible for any kind of warranty of craftsmanship or anything at that point. Mm-hmm. So then Pink Energy ran through and did the same thing. Hundreds of thousands of systems, they call them abandoned.
Yeah, I guess the bankruptcy has always seemed kind of weird to me. It's sort of like you can just get out of paying your bills. And so who doesn't run up their credit cards before they file for bankruptcy, Just like get as much as you can.
Just not raised that way. I just wasn't raised that way.
Excuse me while I file for bankruptcy. And so you've been seeing a lot of this, and it sounds like you're fixing a lot of these problems for people. Is that your business? Are you just trying to like get people working that where the system wasn't working and they have like 98% of it done and then somebody just bailed?
Even where maybe you got 480 volts on your ground and we got to dig up rigid metallic conduit that they buried.
Mhm.
And then there's so much water and someone snapped a cable in there and volts ended up getting transferred through the water conduit up to the ground, and very dangerous situations.
Does having all that electricity in the water make it more healthy though? Like, is it more fresh, the water? Maybe it kills the bacteria.
You know, is that where they come up with sparkling
Maybe
water?
yeah, it's got that PV godlike energy in it, something like that. I don't know.
That's where Celsius must have came out of.
Uh-huh. So how do people find you? You just kind of get a reputation, you fix a couple people's systems, and then you're out there fixing everybody's systems. And are you sort of a one-man band? You're just going out there fixing hundreds of systems?
We started January 1 last year, over 300 service calls, 100% resolution, and I was never at a site longer than 2 hours.
All right. Wow. So you just go out there and you get these systems going. You know what? I bet there's people that are all across the country. Do you fly to other places? I guess probably somebody could even like listen to this podcast and go like, I want Thomas Stubblefield to come and get my system going. I'm so frustrated that company filed for bankruptcy, but I live in Maine or wherever it is. I'll pay for your plane ticket, come out here and spend the 2 hours or whatever. And a lot of times, well, I don't know what airport's next to you, but you can jump on an airplane early in the morning and be back home late at night if it only took 8 hours and somebody could pay, it seems like it would be kind of reasonable to get their system going.
To restore hope to someone like that, I mean, it is so powerful. That's all I want to do with my life. Like, that's what I want to do. I would all do your course. That's the only thing that turned me from someone who's never seen a panel into who I am today. And yeah, I'm a one-man band. I wish I wasn't. The really sad part is I ran into some sales clients. I had about 7 sales clients last year, all stretch Armstronging me across the country. But whenever I wouldn't get the lights to turn green or cut corners, or if I got to make 17 trips to hook, guess what? We're going to make 18 trips if that's what it takes. It's never taken that, but you do what it takes to get the job done correctly, to never go back. And when the sales companies find out that I will do it right and that'll be the end of it, they have let me incur expenses and then drop me on my face a few times. And so I'm still trying to get this business off the ground. And it's been a struggle to just get to the people, to let me help them.
Yeah, I bet there's plenty of fed up people that are just like, I don't even want to deal with that company anymore. I've got to move on with my life. You can get this thing started. It's been sitting on my roof for all this long time, up to 5 years. Just get over here and make it work. Are there other people out there that are doing what you're doing? It sounds, kind of important. It sounds like a good niche.
Generac told me that when they found out I lived in Southwest Missouri, they said I was the only one in this entire region.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And for a big company like that.
And do you work all different brands of systems?
Yes, sir. We do the Enphase, SolarEdge, Aptos, Oil Miles, DC, AC systems, batteries, yes, we do it all.
Oh, that sounds like a pretty good thing. And how do we stop this problem from happening, from bad people out there just taking people's money and disappearing? And I'm sure it's not just a solar industry thing. Like, there's all kinds of people that'll take your money and disappear every different place in the world.
Well, that's where, then you start hearing of like felonies, like wire fraud, things like that. There's ways for people to go after people like that, But when you run across so many people, and it's so heartbreaking, they'll talk to me while I'm there working, telling me about how they're about to get divorced because someone, that convinced their spouse to get it. It was a good idea, and it is. If you can't take a calculator and calculate a system out and make all those numbers on your design plans math out, you shouldn't be installing solar.
So did you say like you've seen people like going through divorces because they got in such a big fight over this?
I've met someone who actually is declared bankrupt.
So there's like a customer that went and got solar from some unscrupulous company, and then it made them file bankruptcy and made them get a divorce.
If they could not handle 2 bills, they could only afford one bill to eventually, the finance, whatever you're paying in utilities is what you pay for the finance over a time, and then you own it. But whenever your system doesn't work and your money's gone, you got a finance charge and an electric bill. And I couldn't imagine.
I wonder if there's like, if we can find out who's to blame, like a certain person, and then we could make dartboards out with their face on.
Our home solar turned into pink and then turned into, I've noticed that Generac mentioned, I'm under the impression NovaSource, a global service company now, is the one that I keep following with Generac. And yeah, so many pictures where someone did some shady stuff. And when I get there, it is just an annihilated system. Then State Farm, when we filed the claim, they said, well, we don't cover squirrel damage. We cover raccoon damage. And well, if we didn't see it with our own eyes, it would have to be unknown critter damage, wouldn't it? But they're battles we shouldn't be having to fight.
Yeah. Well, I guess some of those things aren't maybe as much of the fault of the installation company, just like a squirrel chewing on a wire or something. I mean, that can randomly happen anywhere.
Well, NABCEP says that we do the wire management for, critters. And just what I'm thinking was everything was fine. They got a detach reset for a new roof. But when the reset went back up, those wires were hanging all over the ground.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's just over and over again. And these people they've lost hope. It's like a learned helplessness out here. And the only thing I can tell them when I meet them, is just let me go get you results and we'll talk about whatever you want. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands. AI says they're called orphan systems these days.
Yeah, orphan. Yeah. And I think, though, a lot of these people still might be making payments, like they got some kind of PPA or lease or something like that.
Yes.
And the person, the bankrupt company, they're out of the picture, but then somebody still owns the debt on those systems.
Yeah, that bank ain't, stopping that payment. No way.
So they're paying these payments and the system doesn't even work.
Correct.
I guess in a way, like there's different financial arrangements for getting systems when they talk about TPO, third-party ownership. And so there's like a lease where you just, you lease the system and it's on your roof and somebody else gets the tax credit and all that kind of stuff. And there's a power purchase agreement where you're just buying power. So if you're just buying power and the power doesn't come out because they never turn the system on, maybe that's a better way to buy a solar system than a lease. Because if it doesn't work, then you don't have to pay for their electricity that doesn't come out.
Exactly. The salesman just had the silver tongue of a salesman could be such a good or a very bad thing, and at the end of the day, and there's just so many people. I think when they started seeing, because solar's the forefront, it's the leading industry here. I mean, when people see money, they change. And then I just can't help but feel they saw all this money, they decided they had to have it, and they didn't care how. And we have hundreds of thousands of Americans trying to make an investment here.
We interrupt you for a very important announcement. Sean White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast has been brought to you by Sean White's Solar and Energy Storage Podcast. That's right, Sean White is sponsoring his own podcast, and he wants to remind you to go check out some of his classes. You can go to SolarSEAN, that's Solar, SEAN.com, and then click on the links to check out his classes. You can check out his HeatSpring classes, and you can also hire him to teach classes for you, like at your company, something like that. Now back to the show.
I wonder if those unscrupulous salespeople are not in the solar industry anymore. Because I know a lot of them were like kind of freaked out about the tax credits. It's that we sort of do have the tax credits until the end of 2027. It just has to be third-party ownership. And then they might extend it after that. But I've heard salespeople and on different podcasts and things like that talk about like, man, if this happens, I'm going to go find another job. And then some other people are like, whoa, that's probably a great idea. Go sell some cars or something.
Bye.
Yeah. How would you recommend somebody buy solar? Or do you run across people that had good experiences? I mean, we want people to buy solar, I think.
Well, yes, if you have an electric bill, you might ought to need to talk to someone about solar panels. It's a no-brainer. But if the person that you're buying solar from, if they can't explain every one of your questions, with facts and accurate information, they don't have to know it off the top of their heads.
A lot of people don't even have the questions, just like regular homeowners. Like I'm thinking about like, say, my mom or something. She wouldn't know what to ask. She just has to be able to trust somebody.
Truth. And I was babysitting an electric company in Tulsa last week, and I show up, design plans, It's a DC strung Tesla system, but 3 of the 11 panels in its string are completely shaded until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Homeowners like, I don't want those panels in front. And I said, you know what? You don't even know how good of an idea that is.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, when that kind of situation is like, put it on the north roof or something, you know?
Anywhere but in the shade.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it goes through an MPPT, so you're not going to have nothing going on.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, what do you do when somebody says, who should I get to install the system? Or what should I do? Or should I finance it? You probably have people asking you that all the time. What do you tell them?
I will actually pull up Aurora helioscope. I'll go design a plan with PV watts, and we'll do the calculator thing. We'll do the expired permit. We'll get them some permits, and we'll go and install it.
So you do the whole install yourself too?
Yes.
So you do the install and you rescue all these different systems and drive, half your life, 100,000 miles a year or whatever. I couldn't even imagine driving that much. So you do all of that. How do you have time?
I don't, but what are you going to do? I'm losing sleep. We can't leave these people here. We can't leave these people knowing how to fix their stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's kind of tough. Well, get some sleep.
It's a very fine line, but yeah, it's every day someone else. And when they call, and then they've been waiting so long, then you fix them up and they want to be your best friend, but you're on to the next one. It is a very vicious cycle. I need help, but you can't kill me. I'm going to go get them.
Okay. All right. Well, good for you. And I wonder if there's other people out there doing the same thing that you're doing, because we probably need people that do this kind of thing that can go out there and rescue systems. That's very important. But if you're like rescuing systems, installing systems, all of the above, it's like there's only so much one person can do. It's just like you're limited by time. Do you have a trick? Do you know how to make extra time?
There is sleepless nights.
Yeah. So let me think. You got kilowatt hours, divide by kilowatts. You got time. You got hours. So
oh my God, of course, because power.
Yeah.
Time is energy, or power times time is energy.
Power times time is energy. So energy divided by power is time. We just figured out how to get all the time.
Mr. Ohms, Mr. Watts, those are good guys.
Yeah.
Good girls.
Yeah, sounds really good. Yeah.
I can't tell you how much it's all because of your HeatSpring course.
Oh, thanks.
I can't express it enough. That's the one key. You go over everything.
Well, I hope you weren't doing my HeatSpring class while you were driving, huh? Maybe you could listen to it, I guess.
The audios that you have available, of course.
Yeah, because I do. Like, I kind of recommend that too, where if you want to learn something, you have to repeat it. And so it's good to get the visual part in, but then once you get that in, just to let it sink, you can just do the audio part. It's like I'm always studying, so that helps me a lot.
It took me a year and a half before I went and tested.
Yeah.
But so be it.
Well, very good for you.
Today's podcast was brought to you by the Wrangell Island woolly mammoth, the last woolly mammoth to live. Walking the earth in the Bering Straits, even after they built the pyramids.
So what do you suggest people should do? I guess if they're in your area, all those places, name the states that you're working in again?
Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Illinois. But there really isn't one place we won't go. If you need help, we'll get to you.
Okay, so anybody can contact Thomas Stubblefield. And in fact, if you live in Europe, I'm sure he'd like to come and fix your system there. You just have to cover his overhead and stuff, huh?
Most absolutely. Love to travel.
All right, good. And it's kind of fun. You can go travel around and do stuff like that. And thanks for rescuing all these people. It sounds very important. And I kind of wish that you had more time. They're working on cloning. They've got sheep, we could do people.
Once we get the crew done and trained right and they're self-sufficient and sustaining and can train themselves, we'll have the time.
Okay, good. All right, well, great. And thanks for helping all of these people. And we got to figure out a way to get rid of the bad guys, that maybe they will just find their way out. And one of the things that I recommend that people do if they wanted to find more scrupulous solar people is look on the NABCEP website. So you go to nabcep.org, certified locator, And you can find both of us. You can find me there. You can find you there. You can find people that know the information. One thing I've noticed about a lot of salespeople is they have no idea what they're talking about. They're good at selling things. And it's like the kind of people you're like, oh, I kind of like this guy. They're just good at that. And then maybe they don't know what they're talking about and they talk you into something. And I've seen a lot of that happen. But there's also good people out there that are trying to really get you to go green, that do understand what they're selling. You don't always have to buy from your typical salesperson too. There's other people that work at the company that you could talk to, and find a company that's got a good reputation, look up their reviews. If like they have 0 stars on Google, that's not a good thing. Sometimes it's hard though to really know if they have good reviews. I had somebody do an electric gate for me, and they had so many good stars on Yelp, and they were the worst, and I'm never using Yelp again.
I did the 5 stars, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, people like just buy it. And then I went and saw Yelp on Reddit. I kind of subscribe to that. And there's all these people that are on the Yelp Reddit, and they're saying like, man, it was like I had bad reviews on Yelp, and then I talked to Yelp and they told me to sign up for this thing and it'll get me better reviews. And then I signed up for it. Then I wanted to quit it, and then my reviews are going to get a lot worse. And so it seems like Yelp is sort of a scam. I kind of think Yelp is a scam. So
Now, I know that I don't feel very highly about them. I don't know what it quite is, but yeah, those reviews look a lot kind of scripted to me.
yeah, and they can just like, you pay Yelp enough money and they'll throw away all the other bad reviews.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that's not even
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can challenge reviews, and you start challenging reviews after you paid them $1,000 a month, and then they'll take out every bad thing for you. They probably would argue with that, but I've seen a lot of people saying that's what ends up happening.
All right. We got some pretty good heartfelt reviews on our page.
Great.
I am proud of that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I better not talk bad about Yelp, or they're going to give me some bad reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would say if you're going to buy solar, just make sure someone near you, that NABCEP certification proves
Mhm.
that you demonstrate proficiency and knowledge
Yep.
in a lot of topics. I mean, that test was very specific. The questions that it asked, I kind of felt mentally manipulated after that test.
Yeah, and then some other places, like another thing about NABCEP too, is if you're unethical and they find out about it, they'll take away your NABCEP certification. Like you signed something that you're going to be ethical.
I reported a salesman.
And another place to look is like different states have different rules, but there's different like licensing boards and things like that. And so
Mhm.
you can see if somebody lost their license or did something bad, criminal records, all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
wow. Yeah.
Like there are quite a few people out there that have been unscrupulous contractors that have ripped people off. You can read about it on the contractors board in a lot of different places. But it's different for every state. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Where would you even find something like that?
Well, I'm in California, and it's just I go to the Contractor State License Board, CSLB, and you can look up every contractor. You could find me there. You could find somebody that does roofing, plumbing, any kind of contractor. You can find them, and you can see their record, any license that they've been associated with, if they ever got in trouble, if their license is expired. I've seen that too. It happens.
Well, I think that's going to be my next spot to go report these people as I come across them.
Yeah. And I know you work in all these different states, so you'd have to go look in that particular state. But I think any homeowner should do that too. So over on the NorCal Solar website, norcalsolar.org, I put a lot of this stuff there of how to screen out, bad contractors, people not to do business with, how to look them up on NABCEP and all that kind of stuff.
I showed up to this disaster this morning, and there is a 1 by 1 foot hole in the roof. Not a single conduit strapped. They got MC cable running across the roof.
Uh,
And it's an end phase. Should have that one trunk, splice cable with it. We got like 4 transitions going on up here.
What was that? You said like a big hole in the roof?
Yeah, 1 by 1 foot straight up hole.
What was that?
It seems like maybe the decking was bad. They went to put an attachment there, and it looks exactly like someone went to rip the attachment up to move it and took shingle with it, but left it.
Wow.
Mm.
Well, that's kind of crazy. I've heard of roofs rotting because they put the conduit and rail's too low, and then a bunch of like debris builds up, leaves and stuff like that, and it just starts rotting over the years and puts a hole in there. I've heard of that happening.
Oh, wow. Wow. And so what is the best way that you can think EPDM with polyurethane?
Oh, like a type of roof? Oh, any type of roof can work. You just have to do the right type of
You
installation.
should follow instructions, don't you? I knew you were going to say.
Yeah, follow instructions and like leave roof space. Like you don't want all the leaves to build up under a solar array.
Went through a parallel array the other day, and it was Solar Edge. We were supposed to add a Tesla and parallel them together, and they went up on the roof and stole one of the Solar Edge home runs. Redid both of them, and nothing was working.
Somebody stole the home runs. Who was it?
Yeah, there was 2 Solar Edge home runs, and instead of making their own for the Tesla, they just went up there and stole one of the Solar Edge's home runs on the existing system.
So one solar installer installed from another one's job or something?
It was just an existing system we were going to add a parallel system to.
And then they literally ripped off some of the cables from the old system.
The inverter had cut wires and the panels were strung together. So we got DC stuff coming in here and to cut. I don't know how the thing didn't burn down.
Yeah, it sounds like some bad solar installers. Like they just,
I found licensed electricians are going to be my demise because they're all, they took a test to prove they can look stuff up in the NEC. And I ain't never seen anyone walking around with one around here.
Oh, with an NEC? All right.
And they're like, well, how long did it take you to get certified? It took me 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, but you turned the system disconnect into the on and off switch for the freezer. So explain that. He stole an inverter home with me.
Sounds like the Wild West over there.
It is, and none of them will listen. I'm like, you have 250 amps. You can't run that to a 50 amp breaker. You're going to have to move some of that back to the main panel. And next thing I know, he's charging the homeowner $3,000 for everything else except for moving those loads back to the panel. Oh my gosh. I can't even believe the world I live in today.
All right. Well, crazy. All right. Well, anything else that you want to talk about?
Oh, well, we have been able to help everybody. I found my place in life. I do love what I'm doing. And I just wanted to reiterate, if anyone does need help with the solar system and they can't get results, I am just a phone call away.
And how do people find you?
Well, you know what? We've had so much going on. I've named my business Koala LLC. So maybe some rebranding needs to be done a little bit. But I have a website, Koala Solar Pros.
Yeah, now that you've been on this podcast, your phone's going to ring off the hook, right?
Well, and so be it.
So Koala LLC, where did you come up with Koala? Just out of curiosity.
I made it about 10 years ago. I was thinking, and, parents give their kids, their babies, a koala bear to cuddle with at night. But I learned recently that if you mess with a koala, like they'll give you diseases. If you mess with them in the wild.
I think I could make about a joke about that I won't, about messing with somebody and them giving you diseases, but I'm not going to make that joke. I'll let people figure it out for themselves.
Well, it's very emotional when you walk into a scene. You have somebody who's, 5-star locally, tell them that they're wrong. And, people don't like to hear that a lot, but you're either going to get ran over or you're going to get the homeowner resolved correctly.
Okay.
And our code of ethics states that we don't lie, cheat, or steal, even if it makes us look ignorant from a past conversation.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for making the world a better place, Thomas Stubblefield. And if you want to find Thomas, you can go to Koala Solar Pros, and you spell that Koala, solarpros.com. I was just thinking too, Koala, you could have your alter ego have Koala, like coal energy.
Oh my gosh. They're about to go away, surely by now.
Yeah. Solar is passing coal, so we're gonna...
You know what, Sean? Are we getting close to the government regulations out here? Because that might be what we need.
What about coal?
No, government regulations on solar.
Oh, every state's got its own rules. Yep.
HJ, well, that don't count.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, Thomas.
Yes, thank you very much, Sean. You have a great day, sir.
All right, cool, man. It's been good talking to you, and keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. If you need anything, you know where to find me.
All right, thanks. And thanks for listening to Shawn White Solar and Energy Storage Podcast. And you could be like Thomas Stubblefield. And which class did you take?
Oh, the HeatSpring NABCEP PVA Associate Exam Prep course.
And you go to find that course at SolarSEAN.com/PVA for PV Associate. Get your NABCEP PV Associate and get yourself on the NABCEP website. Woo!